So, ternary operator. What is ternary operator? So, ternary operator is basically this. Ternary operator is a combination of if else in a single statement. Okay. So, if something is true, then execute this, otherwise execute that. That's what we do in the if else part, right? So, let's say if you want to write, how you need to write expression, it will evaluate the expression if condition becomes true, okay, else expression, okay. So if this condition is true, then this expression will be evaluated, and if this condition is false, then this expression will be evaluated. Now you can do the nesting of a ternary operator. So you may write expression if condition 1, okay, else expression if condition 2, okay, else expression, okay. So if this condition is true, this expression will be evaluated, okay. Now if this condition is false, then it will come to this condition. If this condition is true, then this expression will be evaluated. Now if this condition and this condition both are false, then this expression will be evaluated. So you can keep on doing like this, else, if, and all. Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any other question?
Yeah, so we have means append syntax in list, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we do append, if we apply append operator, then it will add item at the end of the list.
Yes, at the end of the list, correct.
No, actually my question is, can we add any item in my desired index? Means
Yes,
I
yes,
want
we
to.
can do that. We will do in list today.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other question? Someone posted me a question yesterday in WhatsApp. Okay, so yeah, you can post me in WhatsApp. When I'll get the time, I'll reply. But yeah, if I'm not replying, you can ask the question over here also. Okay. So if you have any question, or if you're trying to solve any question from other resources, so let me know if you are facing some problem. By the way, I have one question for you guys today. So try to solve this question. You have a list. Yeah. LST is equal to 2, 1. Give me a second. Let me see the question. This is the question. Now, what is the question? This is array or you list you have. You have to get the output list, and output list will have how many zeros we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 0, 0, 0. And how many ones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Comma 1, comma 1, comma 2, comma 2, comma 2. Basically, you have to sort this array where all the zeros will be coming on the left hand side, all the 2s will be coming on the right hand side, and all the 1s will be coming in the middle. There are few restrictions. What restrictions do you have? Number 1, do not use any method. Okay, use for loop. Use loop, not for loop. Okay, that's it. And then next you have number 2 is do not use any extra list or array. Okay, 3, do one iteration. Do it in one iteration. Okay. 4, you may use pointers, but do not use any extra variable. Understood? This is the question. Okay, I'm pasting it in group. Try this as an home assignment. Okay, I hope clear. So everyone copy it and keep it there with you. Next we will do list today. So I hope no one having any question. So let's start with the list. Now what is a list? List we have seen. List is the collection of element, right? Collection of, or you can say any kind of elements. Okay, so you, and they will be separated by comma, right? Yep. Yep. Bracket, right? So anything which you keep in the square bracket separated by comma, that becomes a list. Okay, for example, NST is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. This is a list. Now when I say anything you can keep, so what does that mean? That, see, generally this is the concept of array we have in other programming languages, where you specify that what kind of data you are going to keep in the. But here, the list which Python developer has made is not that kind of data structure which keeps only homogeneous kind of element. Okay, just give me a minute. I have a visitor, so I'll get back to you. So in the meantime, you may try that problem. Okay. So the problem which I have pasted, you may just give me the logic how you will try to solve it. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll get back to you. Hello everyone. So let's start. Let's start the class. Sorry. So yeah, what we were doing is, yeah. So in other programming languages, what happens? So you specify the data type which you can store in it. Okay. So let's say if you want to create an array of integer type, you will make it integer type, right? So you will keep only integer values in that array, right? But in the case of Python list, what concept we have here is that you can keep any data type inside this list, because list is a collection of heterogeneous element. Okay. So for example, I can keep 10, which is an integer value, 10.20, which is a float value. I can keep one complex value, 10 plus 20j. I may keep one string value also. Inside this, I may keep a list value also, list inside a list. Okay. Then we can keep a tuple. We can keep a set, as well as we can keep a dictionary. Okay. So basically any kind of value you can keep inside it. Okay. So this is the list where we have seen two things. It is a collection of any kind of element separated by comma and kept in the square bracket. Okay. Now the next property we have is list is a sequence. So when I say list is a sequence, when I say list is a sequence, so the first thing which I want to say here, first thing I would like to say here is in terms of the sequence, indexing, you can do the indexing and slicing. Okay. So you know that we have done the indexing, we have done the slicing. So if you want to access one element, if you want to access one element, then you can go for the indexing. So you can write list, syntax will remain same. For example, let's say if I want to access some element inside this list, how I can do the indexing? So print lst. Now what is the element? So in the case of string, what is the element? The characters are one element, right? Whereas in the case of list, one value or this one single value which is separated by comma is one element. So if you want to access, let's say if you want to access this, okay, this is one element, then this whole list is one element, this whole tuple is one element. So if you want to access any element, then you can provide the index of it. For example, I want to access last element. So if I will give -1, then it will give me the last element. Okay, fine. So this way you can access the element inside a list. Now, if you will see, there are nested sequences over here in this list, right? So you have Python. Again, let's say if I will access Python, okay, so I will write print lst of what is the index of Python? 0, 1, 2, and 3. So if I write 3, it will give me Python, right? So when you are getting Python, this Python also again can be indexed, right? So this is a concept of nested sequence, or you can say this is nested list, right? So nested sequence, basically here you can say inside a sequence you have another sequence, right? So if you want to access any one element inside this sequence, then what you can do? So with lst of 3, you have access this whole sequence, and on this sequence you can do one more indexing. So you may do 1. So if you will do lst of 3 of 1, so lst of 3 will give you this, and then lst of 3 of 1 will give you 0 and 1. This one means y. Okay. So if you will run this, you will get y. So you can do this nested indexing also in the case of list. Okay. So you can access any element inside this. Let's say if you want to access this element, then you can do that also. And even let's say if you want to do some operation, for example, if you want to do lst of 4, lst of 4, comma 1 equal to 200, right? Now, if you will check this print lst, you will see that it has been changed, right? It has been changed. So you can do this operation also. So this is indexing. That's how you access an element, single element in the list. Okay. Similarly, you can do the slicing also in this case. So in the case of slicing, what you do? So similarly, if you want to slice a group of element, more than one element, if you want to slice or if you want to access, then you will first write LST. Inside LST, similar start, stop, and step. So from where you want to start from this element. You want to take every element and you want to access till this element. Okay, so you'll start the count 0, 1, 2. So start from 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to access this element, so you will give 5 plus 1, 6. So you will write here 2 colon 6, and this will give you the group of elements starting from this position to this position. Is it clear how you can do the slicing? Similarly, you can apply the step value, you can do the other operations as well here also. Okay. So is this clear, everyone? Any question?
One question.
Yes.
The thing is, when there is subsets, everything, like in the very first subset,
Yes.
it does not consider 0, 1, 2, 3 from there.
Sorry.
Okay, let me come again. That first element, did it consider 0 count from there?
Yes, we did 0 count. Are you joining today?
Yeah, I have joined. No.
Have you done my previous classes?
Yes. Okay, what about if I want to access 10, 20, 30, last but one sublist?
This one?
Yep.
Okay.
In that, I want to access only 30.
Counting from here 0. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and this is 6. So you'll write LST of 6.
Okay. LST of 6 again in that 0, 1, 2. Okay.
Yes, again in that 0, 1, 2.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so always indexing always starts from 0. From the left hand side, and from the right hand side -1 in any sequence. Okay. Any other question? Yes, any question?
It's clear, Raj.
Okay, so we have seen the slicing. Now you can do few basic operations also. Whatever we have seen in the case of list. So few basic operations also you can see. What all basic operation you have. So the basic operation you have is concatenation. Number 2 is repetition. Number 3 is membership operator. Membership operation, basically you can do membership operation. And indexing and slicing we have seen already, right? So in this case, what will happen? Let's say if you want to concatenate 2 lists, okay, so you have LST1 is equal to 10, 20, 30, okay, and LST2 is equal to 40, 50, and 60, okay. So if you want to concatenate them, simple, both of the data types should be similar type, as we know. So if you concatenate it, it will give you a single string, combine both the strings together. And this is a new, list, combine both the lists together, and this is a new list which we are creating. If you will check LST1 and LST2, so they are intact. So they have not been changed anyway, right? So this is the concatenation operation we have, and in the concatenation operation, we know that if you are combining 2 sequences, then the sequence types should be similar. For example, if you are combining lists, then both the operands should be list. Similarly, you can repeat a list, right? So for example, if you want to repeat the list 1 3 times, so you will write list and then a number by how many times you want to repeat it. And this also creates a new list, right? Now, the next we have is membership operation. So you can apply the membership operation to check whether element is there in the list or not, okay? So if you want to check 10 in LST, okay? So if you will write this, it will give you true because it is available, right? So you may print LST here. What is LST? The previous LST only we are taking. Okay, this is the list. In that we are checking 10, 10 is available. Let's say if you will write 20, will it give me true or false? 20.
False.
Hello?
It
False.
will give false.
False. Because 20 is not available as individual element. It is available, but it's available inside another list. Okay. So in this list, 20 is not an element. In this whole list, 20 is not an element. 20 is an element, but it is inside this list. Okay. So this will give you false. Let's say if you run this, this will give you false. But let's say if you will write 20 in LST of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So if I will write LST of 7, it is going to return me true. Clear? So these all are the basic operations which you can do on a list. I hope it is clear. Fine. Okay. The question comes is how you can create a list. Creation of a list. Okay. So there are different ways creating a list. Okay, there are different ways of creating a list. The first example we have seen, if you already knows the element, just go ahead, take one variable, assign the value inside a square bracket separated by comma, this will become a list. The other way is b is equal to list function. Okay, using list function, you may pass any sequence. Remember, inside list function, you may pass any sequence. Inside list function, you may pass any sequence. Okay, and you have to pass only sequence. That is the restriction. You have to pass only sequence. Now, what this list function does, this list function is an internally, it is an iterable. Okay, like it is an iterator. So what it does, it creates an iterator object and picks one element from the sequence which you have provided inside the list function and append it into a new list. Okay, basically what I'm trying to say is whatever sequence you will pass here, out of this sequence you will get a list, and in that list what element you will get, whatever element you have inside this sequence, every element of this sequence will become the element of the list. Okay, so what element you have? You have P is one element, so P will be one element inside the list. Y is another element, there Y will become another element in the list. T is another element, T will become another element in the list, and so on. So if you want to print B, let's see that. We have this. Okay, so we are getting list like this. Remember this, how you are getting a list from list function if you'll apply. Okay, this is one way. C is equal to, let's say if you will pass list, we have seen this example already. Range, let's say if I write 10. So inside this range, we know it will create the sequence of numbers from 0 to 9 internally. But if you will write range 10, it will give you range object 0 to 10. So if you want to convert it into the list, so we are passing this range sequence inside list, it will give you a list of numbers starting from 0 to 9. So if you will print C, you will get it here. Okay. Similarly, D is equal to, inside list function, you may pass a tuple also. So anything, any sequence you can pass, basically, you need to remember this. Next, what we have, using eval function, right? So inside eval function, let's say print, we have used eval function already. You may use it with input also, or one minute. Okay. So using eval function, you can pass, let's say if you will pass a list here, okay, inside this if you will pass a list, and inside this list if you will pass anything, okay, so that should be passed as a string input, right? We have seen that you have to pass it as a string input. So if you pass any string input which is a kind of list internally, so it will also give you a list. Okay. Yeah, so who asked me that question? EOF while passing? Someone asked me. See, we are getting the same kind of thing here. So this is because of this, quotation and all we are getting. Okay. So let's run this. So you are getting a list out of it. If you want to check, you may check the type here. Okay. And if you check, it is a list type. So eval basically has evaluated. So what we have done, we have seen that eval function evaluates the expression passed in the form of a string. Okay. So it is giving you this error, right? Sorry, it is giving you this list. Similarly, let's say if you can use this eval function like this also. Eval, you may convert first anything into the list, first of all Python, and then you can pass this as an argument, okay, to eval function. Here it is giving you an error. So what you will do, you will convert it into a str function, because eventually it needs an str object, right? Now you will get a list like this. Okay, whatever you were getting from here, same thing you are getting here also. Okay, next.
Abhishek, one question here. So eval anyway takes it any input as string, then why again we have to explicitly mention str?
Because see, this list is a list type, right? It is not a string type, right?
Okay.
So you have to convert it into string type, because eval always takes a string input, right?
Yeah, that, yeah, in the above example, like eval, we have given that list in the form of string within the single quote. Anyway, this Python is anyway it's a string. Anyway, we
No,
are giving that in the string.
okay, 1 minute. This Python which you are passing, it is not directly getting passed to the eval. First, it is going to the list function, no?
Okay.
So what you will get from this list of Python, you will get this, which is a list type, right?
Yes.
First, this inner function will be executed, which is a list type. So your eval will give you the error because it doesn't take list type, it takes string type.
Oh, your voice is breaking. So what we are achieving by this statement, evaluate string and
We
list
are
type.
able to get the list. We could have done this only using list of Python also. But
Yes,
how
yes.
you can pass it using eval also, means how you can do it using eval, that will also have shown you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Got it.
So next what we have is, next we have input function. Using input function also you can see that. So using input, you have to use eval. Okay. So in case if you want the user to enter the list, you will write here enter a list, and if user will enter the list, it will get evaluated to the what to say, to a list type. Okay. Now the last one we have is, yesterday we have seen split method, right? Split method. Split method also gives you a list. For example, let's say you have a is equal to this is Python class. Okay. So remember we have splitted this string. If I will write print a dot split, right, using string. So return type here will be a list type. You will get this list, right? Correct. And if you check the type here, this will be a list type. Okay. Fine. So using split method also from the string we can create a list type. Is this clear, everyone? How you can create a list? Any question?
Abhishek, in case of evaluate, if I put a evaluate of like within a string, if I put a Python, it gives error. Why it is so?
See, if you are writing eval and inside the quotation, if you are writing input or let's say Python,
Yeah.
anything, if you're writing Python. So see, eval, what it does, whatever string you will pass, it will try to evaluate it. Okay. You are not saying that you have to convert it into a list, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? So how you evaluate, understand that you want to convert it into the list. And moreover, if you will run this program, you are going to get the error. Because see, eval will remove this quotation, whatever you will pass inside the quotation, eval will remove that quotation and it will try to find the value, right? It will try to evaluate this expression. Now, after removing this quotation, what this Python will become? It will become an identifier, isn't it?
Yeah.
It will try to find the value associated with it, isn't it?
Okay.
Okay, so what you can do is you can write Python is equal to list of Python. Okay, or basically if you want to convert it into the list, but forget about list. If you will write some expression here, for example, you will write 10 plus 20. Okay, in this case, if you will evaluate it, then it will give you this.
Okay.
Okay, so what it has done, see, when you have passed Python inside the quotation, it has removed this, correct? And then in Python again, you were having one more string. So it is not going to remove that. Clear?
Okay.
So it
Yeah.
has printed as it is. But let's say if you will remove this now, so it will add this two number. This is the difference. Okay. Fine. So anything else? Any other question? We have done the string creation. Now we will see the methods. Okay. Do one thing. This is a list. Okay. What you need to do, need to give me the output in this format. You just try one problem and then we will go for the method. What you need to give, you need to print value, comma, data type of the value. Okay. So for every element, you will print the value and you will print the data type of that value. Understood? Everyone? You will print every element and then the data type of that element. Okay. Do that.
It is like for I in list, print I comma type of I.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So let's see that. Now, what all methods we have? So if you want to find the method, what all methods we have, so simply go ahead and write print dir of lst. Okay, so we have all these methods. Now we will read about it. Means we will learn this method. Okay, again, so rest all method are built-in method. We are not going to do that. Okay, fine. Now, so let me copy this. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to first, let's see append method. So we have seen append method. Let's say you have lst is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. And if you want to append any value at the end, so print lst dot append, I will write 100. So this append method adds the value at the end. And if you will print it, it will return none. Remember, this will return none. Now, if you want to check the value, whether it is appended or not, so or updated list, then you will print list separately. So this will be the output. You can see the output has been changed, but if you're trying to print lst.append method, it is returning you none. Because this append method, wherever it is written, it returns nothing. I told you in the function when I discussed the introduction of function, so there I told you if you don't write the return statement, by default it returns what? None. Okay, so there is no return statement in the append method wherever it is defined internally. Okay, fine. So the next we have is insert method. Okay, so these all method which we are learning for adding an element in a list. Okay, now so this is append method. Now what we are going to do, we are going to see the insert method. So I will write, I have lst is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. Now I want to insert some value at this position, one position. Okay, so what I will do, I will write print lst dot insert, and I will first write the value which I want to insert, and then the index I want to insert at first index. Okay, probably this, yeah. Now if you want to check the value, so you need to write lst. What happened? Okay, opposite, sorry. This will be, first you need to pass the index and then the value. So let me write the syntax of insert. Insert, first the index and then the value. Okay, so if you will write whatever index you want to add the value, you will write that index here and then the value. Okay, and if you want to check the value whether it is inserted or not, so you have to print lst. Fine, so it will get added here. Now one thing you have seen, that if you are passing an index which is not available, okay, so by default the value will get added at the end. It will not throw you any error. Okay, so we can observe this thing also from here. So 1 and 100 I will write better, or 1000. Okay, so it has been added here, and rest all elements are shifted on the right hand side. So someone asked me in the beginning, this was the index insert operation we have. Okay, next we have extend. Yeah, extend. Now what extend method does, it extends a list into another list. Okay, let's say you have lst1 is equal to
Abhishek, scroll up.
okay, so these are the two lists, and what I want to do, I want to extend this list into this list. Basically my output will look like a single list, 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200 and 300. All these elements will be into a single list. But remember, we have one operation where what we do LST1 plus LST2, right? We will get the same result. And here what we will get a new list, right? But what is my requirement? I don't want to get a new list. I want to extend this list into this list. Okay, let's say this is the main copy and this is the sub copy which is created now. I want to update this sub copy into the main copy. Okay, so what I will do, I will write print lst1 dot extend lst2. Now this method also returns you none. Okay, so if you want to check whether the list is updated or not, you just write lst1 and it has been updated. But lst2 is not changed, it is as it is. So if you want to extend lst1 into lst2, then you will write lst2 dot extend lst1. Okay, so this is about extending a list. Okay, this all methods are to add an element from a list.
Abhishek, when I am extending one list to another, the new object will be created or same object?
No, it will be updated in the existing list. As we said, this list LST is there, right? LST was in the LST1, it will be updated LST2. Okay.
Okay.
Now what we have pop, remove, and clear. So let's see. Removing an element from a list. Okay, what we have, removing the element. So if you want to remove an element from the list, then the method we have is pop. So let's say if I want to print lst.pop, and I will check this. So lst.pop, by default, if you will see the definition, default value of index is -1. It means you can use this pop method in two ways. One, you may not pass the argument. So if you will not pass the argument, by default, which value it will remove? It will remove this last value. And you can also see the doc string removes and returns item at the index. Means whatever value it will remove, it will return that value which it has removed. Okay. So by default, the index value is what? -1. So it will remove the last element. So first, let me check the LST. What is LST? So this is the LST, and from that we have removed 40, right? So this 40 has been removed. Clear? So lst.pop method, if you are applying, so by default it is removing the last element and it is returning this last. This method doesn't return the none method, none value. Okay. Now, similarly, you can use this print lst.pop to remove the value at a particular index. For example, I want to remove this value from here now. So I can mention the index here, -1. Sorry, 1, 0 and 1, right? So it will remove this value at this index and it will return that value. Okay. Now, if you will check the list, so list is the updated list. Okay. What happened? Okay. So probably we have done. Okay. Let me do one thing. LST is equal to now I hope it is fine. Okay, fine. So this is the pop operation we have. Next we have remove element, a remove function. So if you want to remove a specific, so now let's say you can remove last element, you have pop method without index. You want to remove an element at a particular index, you can use pop method with the index. But if you want to remove an element with the value, you know the value. Sankar Lal, yes, that is true. LST1 is equal to LST1 plus LST2. Correct. So,
Abhishek,
yes.
Here actually two elements got eliminated, 20 also and 300 also.
We have removed 320.
Actually, we have pop-up only index one element.
Sorry.
Like we have to pop up index 1.
No, you don't. Pop method doesn't pop the index 1. It pops the value which it has removed. Index 1 is this one only, no? 0 and 1.
Yeah.
20.
So
Right.
like this last output from where we are getting?
Last output, so index will not change, no? If you will remove something from end, so how the index in the beginning will change?
What I'm asking, like see in last output 10, 30, 40, 100, 200, we got a list, na? Last output. This one. How we got this list?
This list, we are printing this list here, no? After removing this and this.
Okay.
Okay, so see, this is the list with these all elements. You have printed it. lst.pop is going to remove this. So print lst here.
Okay.
Okay, so after removing 300, you have this list. Now tell me, in this list, we are removing one index,
Okay.
0 and 1. It will remove 20, right? So it is printing 20 here, correct? Now, print lst is what? So print lst after removing 20. So remove 20, now you have 30, 40, 100, 200, right?
Okay.
Those are two functions written. Okay, we use 2 times here. First pop remove the last item 9, 4, and 8. I think. Okay, guys. Next, now pop method uses index, right? Basically, index based removal of an element. But now lst dot remove, you want to remove an element with the value. So you know that you want to remove 100, you can pass 100 value inside remove function and it will remove that element from the list and it returns null. If you want to check the updated list, you have to print lst. Okay, so it has removed 100 from here and you can see the list, but this remove method returns none. Okay, so this is, we have to remove an element. Okay,
Abhishek, one question. If what if 100 is repeated? So it will remove all hundreds?
no, it will remove the first occurrence. Let's say you are saying, let's say 100. Okay, so it will remove the first occurrence of the value.
Okay.
Fine. Next we have, okay, we have this clear method also to clear a list. So let's say if you want to clear a list, so means you want to remove all the list, then you will write print lst dot clear, and this also returns a none. So if you want to check whether list is cleared or not, you may print this. So lst dot clear basically deletes all the elements from the list, but it keeps the list. Okay, basically it keeps an empty list. Okay, after removing all the elements from here, it will be empty list, right? So it is returning an empty list. No, it is not mandatory. I'm just trying to show here that what every method returns. Sandeep. Okay, everyone, is this clear? Clear method? Now, yes.
Abhishek, one question. So will remove only first element, first 100, right? So is there any method to remove all the duplicates in coming under the list?
Run the loop.
To for loop?
Run the loop.
Okay.
Next method we have is count and index method. Count and index method. Let's say we have lst is equal to print lst. We have this list. Inside this list, we have this one, right? So we have this one several times. We want to count that how many times this one is repeated inside this list. So you remember count method was there inside the string also. So you can use lst.count, and inside this count you may pass the substring which element inside the list which you are looking for. So I'm looking for 1. It will give me the total count of that. It has been repeated 8 times inside this list. Okay, fine. So this way also you can count the number of element it is repeating. I have done this because I just wanted to create a list with some repeating element. You may check on any list. Okay. Now the next one is index method. So similarly, what I will do, I will remove this. Yeah. So index method works similar like string. So whatever index method was doing in string, it was returning the index of first occurrence of an element, right? So I want to check the index of the first occurrence of an element, then I will go for multiple values. No, in a single count statement you cannot do that. Okay? You have to run the loop, or either you have to run the loop, or you have to do you have to use multiple count statements. Okay.
Abhishek, your voice is not audible actually. You missed the last part.
Not audible, is it? Hello, is it audible now?
It's better now. Yeah.
Okay. So now will count method give the total count of list element? No, it won't give you the total count of list element. It will give you for that you have len method, total element inside a list, and the count method only gives you the count of a particular element appearing in the list. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now index method, the first index of first occurrence. So what I will write, print lst dot index. I want to get the first occurrence of 1. I will check, that is 0. Let's say if I will write 2, that is this. Let's say if I will write 9, so that is this. Okay. So basically inside this list, these all elements are there. You can check what is the first occurrence of this. If you want to find all the occurrences, better to run a loop. Can you count multiple values? Multiple values you are trying to say, comma, if I will do 2. In a single statement you are trying to say, it is, right? This is the expression you want. It is. So let's see, giving you the error.
Closing parenthesis.
Yeah, I have missed this. So let's see. It is giving you the error. Or
The closing parenthesis is missing.
Yes, it's giving you the error. Count takes exactly 1 argument. Okay. Fine, is it clear? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Chitiz. Okay. Okay, so we have done this indexing. Now, so index and count method, we have done that. Next, we have reverse and sort method. What this reverse and sort method does? So, reverse and sort method. So, reverse method name says that it reverses a list, and sort method sorts a list. So, for example, we have a list is equal to 10, 20, 1, 2, 100, 3, 200, 5, 40, 9, 80, 7. Okay. First of all, if you want to reverse this list, so simply you have lst dot reverse. Okay, this reverse method will reverse the list. Okay, and it returns none. So if you want to check whether it is reversed or not, you have to print lst. Okay, fine. So this list is reversed. Now, the previous list which you were having, it is not the same list. Now this list has been reversed. Okay, so now the new list is this. Okay, so basically this method returns none, and it makes the changes into an existing list. Okay. So this is reverse method. Similarly, you have
Abhishek, I have one question.
Hmm.
All the methods we use, actually it replaces the original value, or sometimes it's like some of the
yes,
methods.
yes. Almost all the method make the changes into the list. List is mutable type. So, almost all the values are getting changed in the list. But in the case of string or immutable data type, it creates a new object.
Okay.
Okay. Next, we have print lst.sort. lst.sort. So we are sorting the list. Now, if you will sort the list, so it will sort the list in the ascending order. So default order is ascending order. Okay. Now, if you will check this print lst, so it is sorted, right? It is making the changes into the same list. So this is ascending order, but let's say if you want to do it in the descending order, then here you have one attribute reversed is equal to true. Okay. If you mention reverse equal to true, so first it will sort it and then it will reverse it. Okay. Let's see that. Reverse. So it has sorted it and then it has reversed it. Okay. Now this list is coming in the sorted order, like in the descending order. Okay. So this two method you have, reverse and sort. And next we have is copy method. Okay. Try this, Surendra. Try this and let me know what it does.
This
Yes,
sort method is applicable only for integer value.
Integer. See, if you will write here, let's say if you will try to write here a string value, okay, and then if you will try to sort this, in that case you will get the error, because internally while sorting it compares the value, right? Int and str comparison is not possible, right? We know that. Fine.
So if we'll short all the string,
Then it will do that. Let's say you have a, comma a, and comma b, comma c, comma a, a. Now, if you will sort it, let me. So it is sorting in this order. Okay. Fine.
this is based on ASCII value.
Yes, obviously. That's how you compare the element, right?
If I'll take one example, like a alpha 01 to alpha 20, like a alpha 12 also in a string,
ALPHA
alpha 1,
1,
comma, alpha 2,
2,
like you can take alpha 11,
7,
alpha 12, okay, whatever. So if I'll short this string, how it will become?
8. Okay. So if you will sort this, this is fine. It is coming in this order. So check the order of different characters, 8, 2, 11, and 1. Actually, remove this and this. 1, 1, 1, then 2, and then 8. It is not considering this 1, 1 as 11.
Only this is considering only one.
Sorry?
So this is not considering last in alpha 11 last index, correct? Like in
Last
alpha
index.
11, okay, there are 5, 6, 7 characters are there. So it is considering till 6.
Yes, correct.
So based on it is performing the sorting.
Because most of the 6 characters are there, right?
Yes.
So it is comparing this, right? So in that case, alpha 1, 2, and 8, this is the order it is coming. And then when you are reversing, it is coming in the reverse order. So basically, it is not considering this 1, 1 as 11 internally.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have seen that one also. Let's say if you will write print alpha 1 less than alpha 11, right? This should be true, right? Because we have seen that if you compare two strings and if you have one string which is similar till last, but you have one extra character in that, then this will be smaller compared to this, isn't it? Because when you are comparing, the length itself is here, it got smaller. But let's say if you will write 11 1 1 with the 2, right? So in this case now till here this is fine, but one index ASCII value of 1 is lower than the ASCII value of 2, right? Dependra.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, so when you ask the question and I'm asking, so respond, don't sit idle. Okay, so Junaid, please, can you please, what you want me to repeat? I don't know. What if there is a nested list? I told you, if you will keep a nested list and then you will try to sort it, it will give you the error. Because see, if you will keep nested list, like 2, 3 lists you have inside a list, then that is fine. Only list you have. But if you will have integer, list, string, everything, then it will give you the error, because you cannot compare the different data types, right? Okay. Check that from your side.
Abhishek, I have one doubt.
Yes.
Hello. Yes. Actually, when we have integer value in the list, and you write the sentence that lst dot sort under the bracket reverse equal to true. So my question is here, which operation will be done first, sorting or reversing?
No, first sorting and then reversing.
Okay. Means by default it will be sorted at ascending order.
Yeah, by default it will be in the ascending order.
And then it will be, if it is reversed, then it will be descending order.
Descending order.
Actually, we are getting the list of descending order by that.
Yeah, if you are mentioning reverse equal to true, then you are getting it in the reverse order.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we have done reverse and sort. Last method we have is copy method. Okay. Copy method. What this copy method does, so copy basically creates a shallow copy. Okay, now what is a shallow copy? What is a deep copy? For example, let's say if you have A is equal to 10, 20, 30. And if I will write B is equal to A. So can anyone tell me ID of A and B will be similar or different? Is B true or false?
True.
True. True. Okay. So let's see that true. Those who are saying different and false, that is false. Means that they are false. Means they are true. So A is B is giving you true. Why? See, this is item assignment, right? Sorry, this is aliasing. You can say basically, or assignment operation. So when you have A which is pointing to this object and you assign this object to another variable using assignment operation, then in that case, the ID of A and B will remain similar. But if you will do C is equal to A, so tell me now A is B, sorry, print A is C, true or false? Now to
False. False.
false. Now in this case, it will become false. Okay, because this operation creates a new list object. Okay, see, this operation creates another reference for an existing object. This operation creates another list object. Understood? And this C will be called shallow copy. Okay, this C will be called a shallow copy. So if you want to create a shallow copy, then you have this copy method also. So you may write D is equal to A dot copy. It will create a shallow copy. So if you will write print A is D, this will also be false. Clear? Is it clear?
Abhishek, in what scenarios we look for a shallow copy of a element?
You don't want to make any changes to the existing object. For example, if you will do D of 0 is equal to 100, and if you will print D, and if you will print A, so the changes will be made to only D, not for A. You can see that. But if you will make any changes to B of 0, if you will make any changes to B of 0 is equal to 100, then it will make the changes in both the copies A and B.
Okay.
You can see this. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you don't want to make the changes into the original copy, then you go for the shallow copy. Okay. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Any other question? No question. So I think we are done with the method. Yes.
So the behavior of like assignment here different from numbers and list, because if you assign like A is equal to 300,
Uh-huh.
B is equal to A, so that time ID was different. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't understood. B, where?
If you assign A is equal to 100, okay.
A is equal to 100.
Not 100, like a more than 256, you assign 300.
Oh, okay. A is equal to, you are saying, let's say 1000, and
Yes, B is equal to A.
B is equal to A.
Then print A is B.
Print A is B.
Yes. That result will be false, correct?
Result, no, see, it doesn't behave like that. So if you will run this, you will get it true. Okay.
Okay.
This is also assignment, right? So B is going to point to the same object. Okay.
Okay, it's clear.
But if you will write 1000, it will create a new object. Okay. Fine. Clear? But in real DS use cases, what usually we will do? Do we create any? If you want to do it in, but not the use in DS, you will get to know in DS. Okay. Okay. So learn this. That is simple. Learn this. Probably you may use it somewhere. Where you will be using it, you will learn it there. Yes.
Abhishek, can we do method chaining here?
Method chaining, yes, we have done that. Like, what you want to do method chaining, you can do that. You can keep one method inside another method, and those all method inside another method. You can do that. But that kind of operation you need to think about. Think about it. Let me know when then I'll do that. As of now, I'll go to the list comprehension topic. Let me finish this. So list comprehension.
Abhishek, you said there is one more option, deep copy. What is that?
Deep copy we will discuss later in the dictionary part. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, what I discussed here. List comprehension basically is a simple way to create a list. Okay. Now we have seen that based on some condition, based on some looping and all. So we have seen different ways of creating a list. This list comprehension is also the same thing. If you want to create a list, so the syntax for this is you will write an expression. Based on this expression, your every element will be created inside the list. And then for some variable in sequence, okay, you may pass any sequence, you can take any variable. Now based on this expression, it will this loop will run, and that many, let's say whatever the length of the sequence, that many elements will be updated inside the list. Okay, you may, if you want, you may write here if condition also. Okay, so for example, let's see that how we can create a list using list comprehension. I want to create a list of all the even numbers from 0 to 20 using list comprehension. Using range, apply list function, you can do that. All those options are there, but using list comprehension, I will do this. First, you need to remember this is important. Square bracket. Now I'll write the expression. Okay. Later. As of now, I'm going to write the loop. For I in range, I want the range from 0 to 20. So I'll write 21, right? Now, what should be my expression? So it will pick one element at a time, and I want even numbers. So I percentile 2. If I percentile 2 equal to 0. Sorry, not I percentile 2. I will write I. Okay. So I will pick one element from this range. I will go and check whether it is true. If it is true, add that element inside this list. If that is false, not an even number, skip that, don't add it. So finally, let me see the list, print lst, and this is the list of all the even numbers inside this range. Okay, clear? Is it clear? Not clear? Clear.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do few problems. What is the problem you have?
Abhishek, in case of expression, if condition, can we have if if as well? As many condition we
Yeah,
want?
yes, you can have that.
Okay.
Oh, so
So if we have Abhishek, one question, if we can have like multiple if conditions, so then we have to follow the indentation also, right?
no, you don't have to follow the, you have to use ternary operator here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see some list problem. Just give me a second. Okay. Do this. use again loop, don't use function. You have a function using which you can do it directly, but use loop. Okay. And next, check this one also. Okay. What you have, write a Python program to count the number of strings having length more than 2 and are palindrome. Okay. So you have to do it now. Yes, this one. Sort a list. You have to do this sorting. Simple, you will apply sort method, that will be done. But I want you to do it using loop. Okay, this one, last. So 3 questions are there. Try this. How much time you need it to do this? 5 minutes is enough, everyone? Hello? Hello? Try this in 5 minutes, okay? Let's try this. Those who have done, try the next one. Is it done? Try it at home. Let's start with the tuple. Okay. One thing also you can try. We have created one. You have applied sort method. Junaid, don't apply sort method. That is good if you have applied, but without applying this for loop also you could have applied sort method and it could have sorted it. Okay, you are finding largest element. Okay. There is a function max of LST. If you will write max of LST, this will give you the largest element inside a list. Okay. So max of LST. Okay, this will give you the largest element. So no need to apply the for loop and all everything. But I told you to write the logic. Okay, write the logic. Don't use any method.
Abhishek, one doubt, maybe it's a basic doubt I missed in to give the attention. So if I like before loop, if I declare an empty list and inside the for loop, if I want to append the element, what is the syntax to append the element to the empty list?
Nothing, simple.
No, not with the method append. So, for example, for this sort problem, so I'm using a like empty list before the for loop, and within for loop I'm just using the expression, and there after some condition I want to add the list with I value.
Yes.
List plus I. Okay.
Inside the square bracket.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I'll try.
So what you can do using list comprehension, you have to create a list, but that should be two-dimensional. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, like this you have to create it using list comprehension. Okay, try this one also. Next we will start with tuple. Tuple. What a tuple says. So tuple is similar like list. Whatever you can do in list, everything is same here in the means whatever is applicable in the case of list, everything is similar as list. Okay. Just don't see this. Okay. So tuple is similar like list, but only one difference is, but it is okay. You cannot modify it. So append will not work here, right? Then insert will not work here. Okay. So I will just go to the method. I'm not going to discuss about the properties of the tuple because everything is similar. We can do concatenation, repetition, and all those things. And it creates a new object. Okay. Just like we have done in string. Okay. So you combine the property of string, immutability property of string, and combine the other property of the list, not mutability property, the sequence property, those all things will be available. Now, how do you define a tuple? So A is equal to, if you will write anything inside this square bracket separated by comma, that will become a tuple. Print type of A will be a tuple. Okay. Now, let's say here brackets are not mandatory. If you will write 10, comma 20, comma 30, then also A will be tuple. Okay. Then also it will be a tuple. So brackets are not mandatory. If you want to create a tuple with a single element, then if you will keep it inside the bracket, will it create a tuple? Type of B, will it be a tuple?
Yes.
No, it won't be a tuple. Okay, it will be an integer value. So for a single value to be a tuple, brackets are not mandatory. You should write comma. Okay. So if you will write comma now, if you will check the type of B, now it is a tuple. So if you want to create a tuple with a single element, then after that single element, you have to keep a comma. That will become a tuple. Clear? Fine.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's say so there are a function. Similarly, let's say creation of the tuple. We have seen control Z. We have seen that how you can create a tuple. So there are different ways of creating a tuple. One, if you know the element, you can do it like this. If you have a single element, you can do like this. But there is a tuple function also. Let's say if I write A is equal to tuple, and inside tuple function, you can pass any sequence. Okay. For example, I can pass Python. So the way list was getting created now similar. Okay. Fine. Similarly, A is equal to tuple. You may pass a list here. 10, 20, 30. It will create a tuple out of it. Print A. Okay. Fine. So if you will check type of A, this will be a tuple. Okay. So this is one way. Now, whatever case was applicable in the case of eval function, similar, all the cases are available here also. If you want to create a tuple out of it, you have to pass a tuple like this, 10, 20, 30 in the string. And then now, if you will print, so it will create a tuple out of it. Okay. If you want to check the type of it, it will give you a tuple. Okay. So if you want to create a tuple, you have to pass a tuple object in the form of string to the eval input, eval function, and it will create a tuple out of it. Okay. So similarly,
Abhishek, I have one question. A tuple can also have a multiple kind of values like
yes,
string and.
yeah, I told you, whatever properties you follow in the list, those all are applicable here.
Okay.
So this is how you can create a tuple.
One more question I have. In case of in the above example where you have mentioned A is equal to tuple of list of 10, 20, 30. That's not there. Yeah, last but one. So when it created the output, it has come within the parenthesis. It's not come as a list within one element.
Yes.
So it should be a list, right?
No, why it can list? I'm converting it eventually into a tuple, right?
Okay. If I mention A is equal to within parentheses like that list and some other thing, it will remain same as the list itself.
Sorry?
If I directly define A is equal to without a tuple function, if I mention the list as it is, then it will remain as a list inside the tuple. Within parentheses again.
You are saying that like this.
Yes.
Like this. Yes, it will remain a list.
Okay.
Okay, because it is a single element, right? You don't have comma after this. If you have a comma, then it will become list inside a tuple.
Okay.
Now what we have, so these all are the different ways of creating a tuple. Okay, now we will see So this is a tuple, print tuple. We have this. Now, inside this, what we want to do, we need to check what all methods are available. So I'll write dir of tuple, and the method we have only two, count and index method. Okay. So we don't have much method here in the tuple. We have only two methods because tuple is immutable, right? So let's say if you want to count the number of element, I will remove this, not required. I will take 10, 1, 20, 1, 100, 1, 20, 100, 1, 2, 1. I want to count that how many times 1 is occurring. So simple print tuple dot count, and I will write 1 here. It will give me the total count of 1. And if you want to find the first occurrence of any element, tuple dot index and pass 1. So 1, right? So these all are the two methods we have in tuple. And the next topic we have in tuple is tuple packing and unpacking. Tuple packing and unpacking. Okay. Now what tuple packing and unpacking says? So packing means packing multiple things into a single thing, right? Someone has asked the question. So if we are using any method on tuple, it will always create the new object. It will not get modified on the same tuple. Yes, Sankar, it will always create a new object because it is immutable. Okay. First of all, you don't have any method like a string and all those things. Okay. You have only these two methods, count and index. Now what I was doing, yes, if you want to do any operation inside a tuple, convert it into the list, and then list, append the values, remove the values, and then convert it back to the tuple. So that is the process generally we follow. Tuple is faster compared to the list because tuple is immutable, so your PVM doesn't have to check. Tuple deep copy, shallow copy is shallow copy. See, basically, let's see here. Let's say you have a tuple, A is equal to 10, 20, 30. Okay. If you write B is equal to A, and if you will print A is B, in this case it is returning true. That means the ID of A and B is true. This is aliasing, but you cannot make changes to this, right? Correct? If you will make changes to A or B, that is not allowed. For example, if you will write A of 0 is equal to 100. If you will do this, then what will happen? A of 0 will not get updated. It will give you the error, right? Type error. But one may say that what I will do, A is equal to A plus 100, comma. Okay, I will do this. So if you are doing this operation, actually you are creating a new tuple object, right? Clear?
But you are creating that same ID, A only. So it is nothing like, it is again like altering the original tuple, right? It's like...
No, this will create a new tuple object. For example, ID of A, ID of B. In this case, ID of A and B will remain similar, 3328, 3328, right? That's why A is B is true, right? Now, check ID of A and B here. So now ID has been changed for A and B. So see, when you are doing this, you are not making the changes to the existing tuple. You are first creating a new tuple object, and then that you are assigning to the existing variable. These are the two different things.
Can we take C equal to A slice entire tuple and then
where is C?
A is C, yeah.
Where is C?
I pasted that in chat, please.
Yeah, I'm taking that 1 minute. So is this clear? Who asked this question?
Yeah, this is
We are
Purnima.
creating a different object, right? Now
Yeah,
let's
but
say you will do 1 minute. Let me take this scenario also, then you ask the question. 1 minute. So if we write C is equal to A colon, in this case, obviously the ID of A and C, let's say if I will write print A is C, in this case it is true. ID of A and C are similar, right? Whereas we know that in the case of list, it was different, right? Because list was mutable object. So there was the concept of shallow copy was there, okay? But in Python, it is immutable object. So you don't have any concept of shallow copy. You are not going to make any changes to the existing object. If you will try to do that, it will create a new object being immutable.
Abhishek, can you print A now because we have added 100?
One minute. What you are saying?
Can you please print A?
Print A.
Yeah.
Printing A. Yes.
So initially A is defined as 10, 20, 30. Now we have added 100. So it is like mutable, right? We have altered the original list, original tuple.
Yes.
So, but we learned that
Where you have
tuple is.
where you have altered the original tuple. I'm saying that you have created a new tuple object. You have made the changes, but after making the changes, you are creating a new tuple object. You are not making the changes into the existing object.
But after creating, again we are assigning to the same variable A.
So that is the new object you are assigning, right?
Okay,
You are
okay.
assigning the new object, not the existing object.
Yeah, understood, got it.
Okay. So what is there? Who was that? Surendra, is it clear? Yeah. Okay. So you don't have the concept of shallow copy and deep copy here. Okay. Because it is immutable. You are not going to make the changes to it. Okay. Now, tuple packing and unpacking when you say, so packing means you can pack multiple values into a single variable. So let's say you have A is equal to 10, B is 20, C is 30, and D is 40. Okay. These all are the multiple values. You have one single variable tuple. So you can assign multiple values to a single variable and this will create a tuple. Okay. So this expression isn't similar like tuple is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. And I told that brackets are optional. You may write it, you may not write it, right? So eventually you are creating a tuple without passing a bracket and passing multiple values separated by comma. So this tuple packing nothing but the concept which we have already learned. Okay, so it will create a tuple, right? So this is called a tuple packing, where you have multiple variables which are associated with some values, and you can assign these variables to a single variable tuple, and this is called tuple packing, assigning multiple values to a single variable. Okay, this is called tuple packing. Now, what is tuple unpacking?
Can we have the same thing in list as well?
In the case of list, see, in the case of list, if you will do, so you have to pass this, right?
Okay.
Because without this, it won't be a list, right?
Okay.
And if you will remove this, then it will become a tuple by default, right?
Okay.
Right. Okay. Next we have tuple unpacking. What tuple unpacking? So unpacking means a variable is having already multiple values and you want to unpack them. Means you want to assign that to different variable. For example, I have a tuple is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I have 6 values here. Now I want to unpack these values. So what I can do, I can write a comma b comma c comma d comma e comma f is equal to tuple. This is unpacking the tuple. So there, whatever values are there, we are unpacking it into the different variables. Now if you will print a, print b, print c, print b, and so on, so you will get all these values. Okay, fine. Now if you will see this also we have done. Yes, we use this, correct. That is optional, no Meher, I told you that is optional. If you are not passing those brackets, then also it will take it as a tuple only. Okay, so this operation also we have done, tuple unpacking, where these all are the different multiple assignment, right? Multiple assignment. You can consider these are the different values and you can paste it here. Okay, so this we have done. I think yesterday we discussed, someone asked me, can we do multiple assignment in Python? Yes, it is possible. Multiple assignment is possible. So whether you write here tuple, TPL means this variable, or you write this, both are similar, no? So this is the same thing we are doing, which we discussed yesterday. So you may write directly tuple also. Okay, so this is tuple unpacking, where in a tuple, whatever the values are there, you are assigning it to the different variable. This is called tuple unpacking. Now, remember this, number of values and the number of variables should always match, otherwise it will give you the error. It should not be lesser, it should not be greater. Okay, always it will give you the value error. Clear?
So Abhishek, one question here, tuple. So that is not ending with comma. 60, after 60 we have not put comma. So but still it is taking, right?
That comma is mandatory only in the case of single element.
Okay, yeah, got it.
So is this clear, everyone? Tuple packing, unpacking. Okay. Now the last topic for today is
Abhishek, in case of list, can we do the unpacking as well?
in the case of list, no, you cannot do that. Check that. We have LST is equal to 10, 20, 30. You can leave Shankar, no problem. Just last topic, and that too I'm not going to discuss in detail, because that again I will discuss in the generator, this last topic. Okay, so this is the concept of generator. So I'll give an idea what is a list comprehension, and then I will discuss it again in the generator. So you may leave, probably you may follow the video, just 5 minutes. Okay, so if you will do a comma b comma c is equal to LST, then it is not giving you any error. Let's check. Yeah, so check ABC then, a comma b comma c. Oh great, it is allowing. So fine, you can do that. Let me try this. Yes, it is allowing. You can do that. Okay, fine. So tuple comprehension. What is tuple comprehension? Tuple is equal to, similar the way you have done the list comprehension. Thank you, Shankar. Thank you. Thanks for joining. So tuple comprehension, simple. You have to put these brackets, then you have to write the expression, and then for variable in sequence, and if some condition, if you want to write. Okay, that's it. So this is about the tuple comprehension. But remember, list comprehension generates a list, but tuple comprehension doesn't generate a tuple. It generates a generator object. And this topic we will discuss again in the generator class, that is in the function. Probably we will start function tomorrow. Okay, and otherwise day after tomorrow. So we'll see. Clear? So this tuple comprehension I will discuss it then. Fine, everyone. So I think today's class is done. Anyone having any question, please go ahead. No question? Fine. So let's meet tomorrow. There are the assignment uploaded on list. We don't have much assignment on tuple. Probably we'll be having few assignment on dictionary. Can we use else if? Yeah, as I said, you can use the ternary operator, Surendra. In list comprehension, yes, you can do that. Okay. Else if, no, elif you cannot use else if, ternary operator. Okay. Elif you will not be able to use. Okay, so what I was saying, yeah, try the list assignment. We don't have much assignment in tuple. Okay. Dictionary will be having few assignment, and try to do the assignment, upload it. We'll be checking in weekend, and I'll give some feedback on few people's assignment. Okay, so hope for everyone the class is going good. If you're facing any problem, reach out to me or to the Learnbay, and if you need any kind of help, let me know. Okay, so I'll end today's session. Any question from anyone else?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, fine then. Thank you everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll meet
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Bye. Bye.